What kind of budget would you assign to lead generation?
Well, what we did was we tracked various different production groups over time. And what we noticed is the percent is almost always the same. It hovers somewhere between 9 and 10% of your gross income. So if you were going to be, as an example, we point this out in the book, if you were going to be a millionaire real estate agent netting $1 million a year, well, that lead generation budget could be as large as $240,000. Now, we actually never discovered that. We never saw anyone spending quite that much money to actually be a millionaire. But actually, that would be the recommended amount.
That's a substantial commitment for a budget.
The most important item in the budget. What we discovered was all the way from zero to millionaire, there were only two budget issues that determined your ultimate success. One was your lead generation budget, and then one was your staffing budget. And they will occupy over 70% of your total expenditures. What's the difference between massive success and average success? Is the ability to systematize something so that you automatically do it with consistency, whether you're having a good day or a bad day, whether you remembered or forgot. Lead generation isn't something that you can take lightly. So you're going to have to systematize it, and you're going to have to make sure that it gets done consistently. And that's actually what separates all of the top performers at the highest level of the industry and everyone else. The top performer understands that and gives themselves up to it. They don't fight that. They realize it's a foundational truth that you can't violate. Everyone else who is doing much less business, they spend way too much time thinking about it and playing with it. And they shouldn't. They should do it, and they should just implement it consistently, and that's going to require a system. Otherwise, they'll be thinking up a new one each month. And really, if you read the book, you'll see that most of the lead generation activities that we're going to recommend that we got from the best in the industry are not about on the spur of the moment or off the top of their head lead generation ideas. But here's the secret. If you don't master lead generation and you don't focus on getting seller listings first, you won't climb the path of that book. That research is very clear.
What kind of research have you done?
Well, first off that we did, which was pretty interesting, is we took the P&Ls from a large group of real estate agents, and they were a mess. And we took them to an accountant, and we asked that accountant to organize those and research those. And what we ended up with was a path of expenditure. That's how I could tell you in total confidence that it's 9 to 10% for lead generation.
I'm sure many agents struggle to make such a commitment because we all know they're fighting a lot of battles and there are too many things competing for limited budget dollars.
Sure, because we probably spent more time analyzing individual budgets and P&Ls of real estate agents across the board than quite possibly anybody else in the industry. And it became very obvious to us that lead generation is where the money has to be spent first and foremost. It's the $1 you can't cut. It's the $1 you should never not spend.
Just to clarify, you are saying that a top agent needs to spend at least between 9 and 10% of their gross income on lead generation activities?
And it's the 9 to 10% of what of your gross you want, not the gross you have. So the biggest challenge that people have is they tend to say, well, I'm going to do X amount next year. I'll spend that amount of money, 9 to 10%. Well, that'd be great, but what have you done? You've just perpetuated the production that you're currently doing by spending at that level. It's the $1 amount that you have to incrementally increase over your entire career because it leads the way before the sales production. It's kind of like which comes first, chicken or egg, cart or horse. In this case, lead generation always comes ahead of the sales, which means the budget item for lead generation always goes first before the sales as well.
So if at the end of the year your goal is to grow, you'll need to set your lead generation budget at 9 to 10% of the gross income you'd like to achieve?
Well, and it's very fluid, so I don't even know if you wait till the end of the year. I think if your business kept increasing, Dave and I and Jay, our other co-author, would tell you that research says it doesn't have to be an annual thing. It's very fluid. If you see the sales increasing,
Beef up your budget.
right, you can beef up the lead generation. Now, if you're not getting the additional sales volume, don't keep beefing it up.
Could you give me your opinions on using a geographic farm to generate listings and
In
leads?
fact, if you interview the top real estate agents, they're going to tell you, and again, I mean all the way to the top, they're going to tell you the only way they can get there is if they focus on listings first, and then they market for sellers, and they market the listings consistently, systematically, right? Systematically consistent. And what happens is they then get the buyers. So they're very clear about the order priority. And geographic farming is going to be one of the few avenues you're going to have available to you where you're going to go out, target a neighborhood, and try to market consistently, right, to that neighborhood over a long period of time in order to build up your personal brand awareness so that you can represent those sellers. Now, if you don't geographic farm, you don't have a lot of other options.
It's clear you believe in direct mail as a marketing strategy.
It's the way to go. It is the basis of your lead generation program. The reason, again, is because it's highly leveraged in a very specific and focused way. So if you look at, and in the book we go through all your options, you're going to come back and find that the really, really most successful real estate agents always use direct mail as part of the cornerstone of their lead generation plan.
Could you elaborate a little on the importance of industry leaders such as Howard Brinton and Brian Buffini and what roles they play in creating a millionaire real estate agent?
Well, I think the path of lead generation is very clear and very well laid out. Not only the research that we've done, but it's probably been laid out before, but it's laid out very clear here. The reason why these leaders like Howard with his star power system, even a Brian Buffini with his referral approach are very important is because to me these are the ways that you do it. These are the ideas that you can implement around the model. So it's every market is different, every individual is different. So even though you're following the same, and I'll use this as an example, 12 direct, 12 times a year for people you haven't met, and 33 times a year lead generation touches to the people you have. The question is what are those going to look like? And every market is different. And one of the greatest benefits of leaders like Howard or leaders like Brian is that they're going to give you the ideas and teach you the skills of how to really get the most out of that kind of systematic, consistent approach.
Well, we'd like to thank you so much for your time, and we've really enjoyed speaking with you today.
You have just watched Custom House Publishers' exclusive interview with Gary Keller. Please contact us at 1-888-493-7059 to start your custom newspaper that so many other top agents utilize.